Hello, everybody. Today I want to talk some more about spirituality. And I realized that a really good way to get started and get yourself in a happy, good mood is to have like enough sleep. You probably want to get into a schedule of 8 hours sleep a day, but if you're not in that schedule or if you're still tired after that, try to sleep a little bit longer. Or try to go to bed earlier so that you'll start to dream lucidly and you start to remember your dreams. And then when you start to dream lucidly, you will recognize your power in that dream and you will wake up much happier and much more in your own power and presence, which will help elevate your state of mind. Um, so I kind of wanted to talk about the influence you can have on your world around you with your thoughts and emotions and psyche. So, when elevated to where things start to flow together, try to think of your identity and the world around you. Uh, Stay in connection with the people and things in the environment around you while elevating your style to higher and higher levels. Then practice to the point where you vividly start displaying your style in the people and things around you. I'll clarify this later. So, mind you, stay ethical, and when handling other people, try to nudge them at most or work with elevated styles of recognition where multiple interpretations are possible. Trying to find a finesse in handling people, being themselves, and elevating them to new heights. So, okay, a couple of things here. Like, there's like an actual gradation between people. Like, you have the physical dimension. The physical dimension is basically your proximity to one another and how you deal with that. Like if you convey thoughts, you start to talk to one another, and if you want to convey emotions with maybe a partner, you start to grow closer and you uh, actually touch each other and be near each other in the vicinity of each other and start to share emotions. So in that sense, you're kind of already connected to the world around you. And if you're really strong emotionally and strong psychically and strong with your thoughts, you can already convey like your thoughts and emotions to the world around you. It's said that like your heart radiates in like a 50-meter radius by default. And I think you can expand on this if you try to expand on it. And then know that each other heart will also radiate your style from it as well, like in a characteristic way. It doesn't have to be like representative for your style, but it's always like kind of inclined to play into your style. So uh yeah, now how to actually transfer your thoughts, emotion, and soul work. You create identities in your mind based on people and other stuff you come up with. These identities will be active in your mind and heart, and if you handle them in a certain respect, you'll see these will help you out greatly. You can do so with anything. Remember, we are creative beings and we can actually create and attract anything. But I'd say it's more complicated than the law of attraction. Of course, in a sense, you ultimately want to attract into your life what you desire, but the way of doing so is actually dependent on a lot of factors. So don't get discouraged and work with the stuff you really like to work with. Like, there has to be an inclination for you to work with stuff. Like, if it's negatively induced, try to get out of that pattern and try to positively reinforce your behavior. And of course, you don't really want to justify your behavior. So, well, you want to justify your behavior, but you don't want to like uh, justify in the sense that you want to justify bad habits and such or bad motions in your life. Like if you dislike your work, you don't want to justify doing that. You want to actually justify it by looking for something else and looking for something better, right? Maybe educating yourself a little bit. So it helps to get into a high-minded state where you can actually feel your power flow through you. But I'd say it's more than just getting happy. You want to feel on the way towards fleshing out your goals. You want to feel on the way towards fleshing out your goals and expanding your goals at the same time. Uh, and then I wrote down, anyway, if you start going with your interest, it's easier to resolve your bad habits as well. You want to basically empower yourself because we're positively powered people. Like, people are only in their sense of behavior because they are existent. So you have to have an existent force or existent presence to be able to uh, carry out your will and carry out your desire. So you have to be in the realm of existence if you want to if you want to have more creative power. So you want to bring your creative power into the realm of existence is basically what I'm trying to say. But then you trust that when you're existent, your form takes on uh, livelihood. Basically, your form takes on livelihood, and you want to be careful you don't take bad forms into existence, of course. You want to be wary of that, where other spiritual teachers are like, you just go high minded and you just go all good and all great and everything is good. And there's a way of working with that, and it's also to be said that you can't always come back from what you do. So there's a way about that as well. But I'd say you be mindful and try to not carry out your bad habits too much and your bad emotions and such. You try to put a hold on them and try to work with them. Try to contact the right people if you have a lot of negative stress. But yeah, like the positive things you all want to bring into life and you all want to create bigger forms of, right? So sometimes you just feel so great and you have to utilize that momentum to really get going and get your ideas going, because if you feel bad and if you feel down, it's so hard to justify your creative behavior. So if you're in a good mood, no matter what time it is, just go with what you want to do, I'd say. And it's best if you start boiling this down to a structure. So if you really start to structure your day in a positive way, where you already have like a set plan on what you want to do, and you're already excited for it, and you already have this present form about you that you really want to display what you're all about, you know. But yeah, to elaborate on this, I have a video made about energy entity draw. You can look it up on my YouTube. And that was like when I was really high minded and I was really feeling it, and I could basically contact this entity called Draw. And I don't know if it was due to my own energy levels that I started creating these autonomous, I don't know how you say, autonomous identities. But I created this identity relation with Draw, and I could just call it Draw without being any like confusion about it or negative negative status about it. I could just call it Draw, so that's why I called it Draw. And it was like a super high energy entity with like certain aspects which I kind of forgot. I should also watch the video back. But that's what you want to do. You basically want to create more vivid identities and more vivid power structures, which are all positive. And I suggest also working with the fact that I said it last time, our spiritual people like to work with high-minded and high states of energy where multiple recognitions are possible, multiple paths are possible. Don't get too dispersed though, so you want to keep your own mindset as well. But you want to also leave the room for other people to breathe and to um, act on their own accord, you know? So the main takeaway from this is about energy entities and identities in your mind. It could be about anything. It could be about objects, great ideas for work, great ideas for social interactions. And you basically want to work with that, and you want to work with, if you're shy, I'm really shy. I'm personally really shy. So I start to work from my own apartment where I just lay down in bed or I sit down in a chair and I chill out and meditate. And I start to sense what's going around me in the apartments around me, for example. I start to tap into that a little bit and start to sense what other people are feeling. I try to be reasonable about it. Try to be not to be invasive. Of course, I can also just go in my own mind and make my own identities and own forms. But Bentino Massaro also talked about this. He also talked about the realm of form. So I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was like really creative at one point about form and the map of creation, I think it was called. So if you want to look that up, go ahead. Bentino Massaro, he's called. He's also Dutch, by the way, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, I think this is it for now. Anything else I want to share? Um, yeah, okay, so the proof that this actually works, I'd like to give you a little bit of proof because spiritual teachers usually yap on about everything and they don't give you any proof other than they get wealthy and they just get they do have this sense of power around them, of course, with manifested wealth and manifested identity about them. So that's their given. But I like to give you a little bit of proof for now. So I don't have physical proof this time around, but as you know, I had my digital manipulation clip last time, or the time before that, I'm not sure. But I gave you the digital manipulation clip as a proof that I could manipulate my phone with my thoughts. And that's one of my proofs I've given you. But this time I have a little story I could tell you. So I was like really practicing this spiritual energy. I was really practicing in the form of love. I wanted to find love in my life. And I practiced this energy so hard. And I started to really pull this energy into my heart. And then two women came jogging by, and they suddenly stopped, and we had this certain attraction about each other, like physical attraction. They actually stopped because we had this physical attraction, because they were just walking forward. They weren't even minding me at all. And I was just sitting here in my apartment. I was looking outside of the window, and all of a sudden, I felt this great energy going towards them and from them, and it kind of was pretty experimental. It was like pretty jagged energy. It was like pretty noisy actually, but it was kind of fun, and it was like something I knew I had crafted beforehand. So I may even had some help. I may have had even some. I may have even had some help from some other entities or people with channeling that energy, because I don't think I could have done it all by myself, but maybe I had, because it was just a lot of energy and it was really experimental. So Yeah, that's how you can meet people. You can just channel your own energy and just kind of try to vibe off of things, and then you start to wander into the lives of other people, and you start to meet people. So that's for when you're shy and you're just not really that confident about talking to people. You kind of want to make it flow over, and if you can make it flow over, just try really hard at making that connection in the way you want to. Of course, you don't want to do any harm. You don't want to create any fucking serious situations where you don't want to create any harmful situations or anything. But I suggest if you tap into the right resources, you should be fine. People are really resilient as well, so don't worry about harming them too quickly. And that's one nasty part about being shy. You often start to doubt yourself. You don't want to doubt yourself too much because you create your own negative emotion then, and that's just not good. So, yeah, just start to work from your comfort zone and kind of also push yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit, of course, but not too much because then you start to act out. So, yeah, that's just a little example about those two people. I didn't actually talk to them, by the way, because they were outside of my apartment. They were like on the other side of the road, so I couldn't actually talk to them. But maybe if I waved and actually called them over, that could have been the case because it was a really strong connection we had. We must have all felt it because they stopped running while they were actually just looking ahead. They were looking ahead, and all of a sudden we felt this energy. They stopped running and they looked me right in the eye. So that was like real confirmation of this thing being possible. And this is like the key feature for me that really helped me get going, because for me it was really experimental to figure this out. But you right now have this physical proof of this strategy working. So that's it's not something to get too excited about. Like, people are pretty normal in all around conversation, all around behavior. So you shouldn't get too fussed up about it. I'm like, now I'm a little bit more lenient towards people and I'm a little bit more open. So I don't actually stress it that much anymore, but I kind of like to go for it again. And I think I have some good inspiration with thought entities and personal style. We were working about style, right? So we're still working on style with the boys here. We're still working on style. And yeah, so just give it your own style and work with other people. Kind of try to figure things out. It doesn't matter if things are a bit experimental. It helps if you know if you're good at something. Maybe relatable, maybe not relatable. But if you're good at something in your life and you're like top percentage of performers or performance in that area, then you know you can do well at this too, and that really helps. So I suggest you really start to, if you're young especially, I suggest you start to really put your effort in at something. It doesn't matter if it's like publicly accepted or like because I used to be a big gamer. I used to be like top 0.014% in League of Legends. So that's where I got my validation pretty much. And you can do this with anything. So you basically want to relate to the field where you're really active and really perform it in, and then you will start to carry that skill over to another area, like this area, like spirituality. So spirituality is a really great upcoming field that has a lot of potential. So I suggest you guys also put down the comments and let me know about how it goes, because we're still working on style. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll put down my Twitch, my Twitter, my Instagram in the description as always. Please follow me on those platforms. I live stream on Twitch. I obviously post on Twitter every now and again, and I post on Instagram as well. So yeah, guys and girls, thanks a lot for watching. I do appreciate it a lot, as always. Have a good one. I hope this helped you greatly. If it didn't help you greatly, then I hope it helped you somewhat. but for me it did a lot of work just writing this up, and I often get these boosts of these performance boosts if I come up with these videos. Know that when I post the video, I know that you guys have watched this because I actually get this great feedback feeling. So thanks a lot for that. I do appreciate it again, and I see you guys next time. Have a good one.